All right, so this was unit 4.4. And the question is number 16. So here's the problem. So this is a word problem that we need to solve using either equations or linear systems. So the strategy in solving any word problem is to basically understand the problem first before solving it. So let me write those solving strategy steps. Okay, so what we call the solving strategy. So one, you want to read and understand the problem first. Number two, after we understand it, we're going to translate this into some math equations or systems. Once we translate those, what do you think the next step is after translating the problem into equations and systems? What do we do after that?
Solving.
Say again, louder, Marie.
Solving the problem?
That's right, we need to solve it. Okay, so read, understand, translate the problem, solve it. And what is the final step? How do you make sure that you got the right answers?
You review it?
Review, or what's the?
Check.
Check, that's right. You want to check it. So for any word problem, always follow those called guidelines or problem solving strategy steps. Okay, so let's go over this. So two domestic top grossing movies of 2017 were Wonder Woman and Guardian of the Galaxy. Wonder Woman grossed 23 million, more than Guardian of the Galaxy. Okay. So two movies, one of them grossed more than the other. So Wonder Woman grossed more than the Guardian of the Galaxy, and together the two films took in 803 million. Okay, $803 million. How much did each of these movies earn? Okay, again, let's recap the problem, rephrase it. So we have two movies that played, and one of them made $23 million more than the other. Okay, so they didn't make equal amount of money. One of them made more than the other. How much more? One of them made 23 million more than the other. But together, in total, how much did they make? How much did the two movies make? How much did they make in total between them?
It does 803.
That's right, $803 million in total. So those are key information. Well, that's some key information we're going to use to translate this into some mathematical problems. So let's call Wonderland. Okay, this is the first movie. Let's call it W. Instead of X and Y, let's use W. And for Guardian of the Galaxy, let's use just the letter G. Okay, that's more meaningful as opposed to X and Y. So let's translate this into some system. The first equation. So let's call, let's let W be the amount of money that the first movie made, and G, the amount of money the second movie made. Okay, let's translate the second one. This part seems easier to translate. This part here. How do you put this into an equation? If the first movie made this amount of money, the second movie made this amount, how do you put that in an equation that says, in an equation where the problem says, together, the two films took in 803 million. Okay, what's the equation?
Would it be like X times, I don't know, like X?
We're using W and G instead of X and Y. It would be the same, but let's use W and G. So the two movies, this is the amount the first one made, this is the amount the second one made. If together made $803 million, what's the total? How do you write the equation in terms of W and G? If you want to put this part in an equation, say again?
W.
W parentheses, right?
Uh,
G.
so
It's
this,
W times 2?
no, together the two films made,
Oh,
okay?
It's
Together the two films made this. Basically, what are we doing with W and G? What are we doing with W and G to get $800 million?
you add it.
You add them, that's right. All you have to do is add. So
Okay.
the first movie, the second movie together made 803.
Mhm.
That's the first equation. Now we're gonna try to come up with the other equation using the given information. This one was easier to write. That's why I started with it. Let's see. This one is also important here. It says Wonder Woman grossed 23 million more than Guardian of the Galaxy.
W.
If Wonder Woman, so Wonder Woman made more, right? Wonder Woman made how much more than G? So whatever G was, and how much more?
23 million.
23. So what's the operation?
Addition.
G.
Addition, right? 23. That's it. That is probably the most difficult part and the most important as well. So once you get your system like this, the rest is just to solve it and find the solutions. And we know how to solve system now. We learned to solve by graphing, by substitution, by elimination. So make sure you read your problems a few times. It may not make sense the first couple of times. Read it carefully, translate it. If you don't get the right system, the answer will be wrong. Okay, so most of the time, you will have all the information needed to translate that into systems. Okay, now let's solve this system by substitution. Recall we used x and y. It's the same thing here. We're just using y and g. So solve by substitution. You can choose any method you want, but the problem doesn't specify. You could use either method, but maybe solving by substitution seems easier. So what do you think we do here to solve this by substitution? What do we plug and where? So that's equation 1, equation 2. We need to substitute one of the letters in one of the equations. Which letter do you think we substitute?
W.
The W. Why? Why the W? It's simply because it looks by itself, right? It's isolated, so yeah, we plug it into the other one. So we look for one variable that's by itself. Then you take that variable, you plug it into the other equation. So this is equation 1, equation 2, right? So you need to have a variable by itself. If you don't have a variable by itself, you can isolate one. For example, if you have two equations like this, you can move one of the variables over and keep one of them. Once you isolate it, you plug it into the other equation. But since we already have one by itself, we're going to plug it into this. So now we're going to take this. I'm going to say plug. So we're going to plug W, or substitute would be a better word, because the method is called substitution. So we're going to say substitute W in equation 2. This is equation 2, so we're going to remove this W. And what do we substitute it with? If we remove W from this equation, what goes instead of the W?
23, is it?
This whole thing, because W equals G plus 23.
G
So
plus
I'm going to
23.
remove this. I'm going to put G plus 23 plus this G. The rest of the equation will stay the same. This part is going to bring it over. Okay, so once we substitute that variable, what do we do? What do we do after that? What do we do with this equation now?
23 plus G equal 803.
That's right. We're going to combine the like terms. We have G and G. That's 2G plus 23. It was 803. And then?
Minus 23 on both sides.
That's right. Minus 23 on both sides. Cancel this. So 2G. Okay, what's 803 minus 23? will be 780.
780.
We're not there yet. What do we do to get G?
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2. By 2. What's 780 by 2?
Mm-hmm.
390.
390. And the unit is money, right? So the first movie, or one of the movies, Guardian of the Galaxy, made 390 million. 390 million. Okay, so that's so how much did each movie made or make? How much did each movie, this movie earn? So this movie made or earned this much. Now we need to find how much the other movie made using G. So according to the problem, how much did G make? More or less than
Less.
less?
Well, more. I'm sorry.
Now Wonder Woman made less. Okay, so we're looking for the Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
The woman made whatever the Guardian of the Galaxy made plus 23 million. So how do you find G?
You subtract.
So find
Oh,
W.
you find.
Yeah, thank you.
To find W, which one of the equations is easier to use to find W? Which one has W by itself?
2.
No, which one has W by itself? So we're looking for W, right?
Mm-hmm.
And already isolated by itself here, we can use this one. You could use that one too, but this one seems easier. So plug G,
Okay.
390 into equation 1. So W will be G, which we know, we just found it, plus what?
Plus 23.
Plus 23, because Wonder Woman made more than
23
Guardian of the
plus
Galaxy.
29.
So Wonder Woman and Galaxy of blah, Wonder Woman made more money.
It's 23. You put
Gross
29.
more money. What is it?
You put 29.
3.20.
Oh, 29. You have put.
We're adding 29
Oh,
here.
No, you put 29. It's 23.
Oh, 23. That's right. 23 more. Okay, so W will be 413.
13.
Okay, so let's see if this makes sense. So one movie made this much, the other movie made this much. What's left to do now?
You.
So we're gonna check. We're gonna check. So let's go to the equation again, or the problem here. So the two should add up to what?
803.
Okay, so the two, the gross income, according to the problem, is, or the gross revenue from the two movies is 803. One movie made this much, the other one made this much. Let's see if they add up to
803.
That's right. Let's say they add up to 803. So G plus, or W plus G rather. Is it equal to 803?
Yeah, it does.
Does, okay, that means that's good. So we know that W is 413. We added to G, which is 390.
390.
And again, we say is it equal to this, 803. So it's check 700. Yes, in fact, 803 equals 803. And one of the equation checks out. Now we need to do the other one. So the other one says, so W should be equal to G plus 23. Let's check that. So W should be equal to G plus 23. W, what is W again? Is here 413. we're going to say is this equal to G plus 23. What's G again?
Guardian of Galaxy.
390.
3, 9 plus 23. Do these add up? So we're going to say is 4.
Yeah, 413.
That's right. These two add up to 413. So second one also checks. This one checks. Second one checks. And that's it. So we read the problem, we understood it, translated it, solved it, and checked it. So this is basically the blueprint of solving word problems. You want to understand them first. You want to understand them very well first before you answer them, because you can't solve a problem if you don't understand it.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And most of these word problems are quite similar. You're going to end up with in a system like this. Each word problem is written in its own way, so there is no one specific formula for all of them. It will depend on the numbers of the problem, the understanding of the problem. So, but basically the concept is the same.